How you doing? Hey. Nice to see you.
For God's sake. You're getting so big, for goodness sakes.
I know. Hopefully I don't grow anymore.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
So I hear so much about you from your father
Yeah.
and even your mom when I see her. You know,
CNN? Yeah, just started there.
CNN, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's been
That's
awesome.
Yeah, I hope it's got a good chance. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It's a great place to be. They're putting me to work.
Yeah.
So much work.
Yeah.
Like I stayed overtime, I think 4 hours on Tuesday, which is more pay, which is nice, but they just had me doing so many different things, like research over here and then making videos here.
That's good, you know.
It
makes the job or something, and especially if you like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's the wonderful part about
Yeah.
it all.
And it's only been a few weeks of like hard work,
Yeah.
and I feel like every time I go, I'm learning more and more,
Yeah,
which is big, because I just want to know what I'm doing, you know?
that's it.
Because I want to go and have confidence when I get there. When they ask me questions, I know how to answer them and all that. So
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
And the people, that's you know,
Yeah.
just they're working around,
Mhm.
and you just hope that they're nice people. That's all
Yeah,
you know, and you can do the rest.
right.
You know?
They're so nice. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I've had, and I'm sure you've had jobs where it's just the people just don't. You go there and they're really not kind to you, and you ask them questions and they don't give you any time, and it's
So
hard to
sad.
learn.
Isn't it sad?
It is.
Very sad.
Yeah, but they're the opposite. You know,
Yes.
they're always there to help. It's a small team. It's probably like 8 or 9 of us.
Yeah.
But everyone has each other's backs, and they need help. They're right there.
Yeah.
So that's made it way easier for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling though?
Oh, well, I had so many tests, you know,
Really?
and so my arms are getting tired of being stuck with blood tests. And all. But anything, that's good. We had everything done yesterday, and since they're going to be doing some more. I don't even remember. There's so many things. But it's the they want to do a little more checking here.
Mm-hmm.
But my doctor, Dr. Weinstein, he came in. He sat on the bed there. Told me. He says you're probably going to be going home tomorrow. We're going to finish with the testing. And as far as what's happening, he gave me all the different reasons, and what can be called. They eliminated my prostate because of it. Maybe certain other things. Anyway, so it all comes down to tomorrow. We're going to take those tests, and I'll probably be going home tomorrow, and just keep doing what I'm doing, and. It made me feel really happy. You know what I mean? Because when you go pee-pee, instead of just urine coming out, there's blood coming out. There's got to be something. Well, he explained everything.
Right.
To what can cause it. A bad prostate, bad this and that, and they have all been eliminated from all these tests that they're giving me. And the final ones will be tomorrow, which they already don't feel as if, there's going to be any change. So right now I can really look forward to going home tomorrow. And then I keep kidding everybody. I said, gee, any Christmas, I even have to tell myself, am I really 94? Or am I 21 again? It's the way you feel, in your head. I feel all this way, but the main thing is you don't have all that energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
God help you, the energy that you're using right now to learn your job and to do it right and to just keep going forward. That's the great thing about our lives, you know?
Right.
About growing up small here and going right up the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I just feel, when I think about these things, I feel, gee, so far it's been a wonderful 94 years, no matter what the down parts are, because there's so much good.
Right.
There's so much good to come out. No matter how the hardships get, you can enjoy yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives you more incentive to go forward.
Right.
And to do what you want to do and what you like to do, and you can make yourself a fine, I don't know what the title is your job will be.
Production assistant.
Production assistant.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful position.
Yeah, it is. It's like a good starting position and
Absolutely.
kind of build from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I started going to the workforce, and I just took any kind of job that you could get, you know, and this and that. And then, but I started working for, what I wanted to do. Okay. And since I went to this big company, and there was opportunities to work from the floor up, to find out that you had to learn certain things. You had to go back to the books again, and you're not just going to be a mechanic or this or that. You're going to need a license to run a power plant, different things like that. So I started going into all that and enjoying it, plus trying to raise a family.
Big family.
But it was enjoyable, even though I had a good house. And that's what I found going through and working to the top of my position. And it was all worth it. You didn't have a whole bunch of barrel of money, but you had enough to eat and make the kids happy.
Right.
Maybe a little bit harder today. I would hate to try to get involved today because of the, let's face it, some people are weak where other people are smart and strong, and they won't let themselves fall down to the weakness, So, I'm not going to do this, or, you just go right. The people that don't want to go ahead or anything else, and the ones that are not very nice, you just kind of more or less, you stay away from them.
Yeah.
But if you're with them and you can show an example, that's a different point, because it's going to make you happier.
Right.
Help them.
Now, when it came, I'm audio recording this, by the way, just to have. When it came to having 16 kids, did you plan that going in, or is that just how it went with you and Grandma?
No. Ann and I were two teenagers. They're more or less just like, going to school for education, and the future was just wide open. No idea. But finally, okay, so we got married after the war was over with. I come out of the Army. We got married, and what we did was got together and say, okay, how are we going to plan marriage and a family? Because so much we didn't know, and this and that. So the main thing was let's do it the way we've learned in our religion. Okay, that seemed to be the most perfect way to go as far as life is concerned. A hard way to go, because so many things you have to learn, and then so many people that don't become your friends when you kind of start talking about religion and different things like that. But anyway, so we got married. I said, okay, instead of practicing birth control or anything like that, let's do it God's way. You know? And God's not standing there telling us, hey, you're going to have this. No, just do it His way. Try to live according to His plans, which are perfect plans. No matter who you are or what you are, you can't find fault with a set of plans that our good Lord gave us. So, okay, so we settled down, and I had to spend my time trying to improve my job so we get a little more money in. And then as the children came, we just kept going on and on and on. And the ups and downs, there was more ups than downs.
Really?
More ups and
Okay,
downs.
that's good.
Yeah, and of course I always say the mother is the most important part. She's the backbone of the family with the kindness, love, and discipline. You have that, and if you're not lazy, you're going to work hard, and if we get extra time to work, that's good for the family. Okay, and you do that, and it makes the mother more appreciative of her husband, knowing that he's, doing everything he can to help the family. You know? And it worked out, really worked out beautiful, and I could talk about it all.
I can listen forever, honestly.
I'm telling you, it makes me, even at this age, 94, to think back. Not the hard times. That's over with. That was expected. Hard times, you have to expect. Hey, nothing is perfect. Just like winding up in a hospital or something. No, you don't prepare for that, but you do it with a sense of faith and figure, well, God wants you to go longer. You're going to make out all right, but just do the right things, and then to always try to treat people with love and care and kindness. That, try to put and you see it all around you, anger. Everybody's ready to crucify everybody, just like the news and everything else. You like to just sit down and watch the news or something, and all of a sudden it can be even your own son come up to you and say, well, I don't agree with that terrible person, this and that. And if you let yourself go, you're going to say, well, you can't say that. Then you're trying to be a smart aleck yourself. Now you're not being much better than him.
Right.
I even had to learn that. To, hey, back off. Okay? That person loves that leader or something else. He's got his reasons. He's got to learn himself. But you're not going to teach it to him. Because you can only take care of yourself.
Right.
And the people that you know.
Yeah.
And so what I find out myself is it works. It really works to take that kind of philosophy, to put it in yourself while you're working hard and, maybe even too tired to do this or that. But by doing what you plan yourself to do, and always with an amount of kindness and thinking good about the other person. It makes such a beautiful life.
Right, and it's great to hear that after what you've experienced, like in World War II and being over there. I heard once, I've always wanted to ask you, I heard that you guarded the place where Adolf Hitler lay dead.
Oh, yeah.
Is that correct? Can you tell me about, what was that about?
Well, it was nothing really for me. It was a type of prison where it was like it's like one of these summer houses that you see. They're built up almost like four walls or something like that, and they build a double wire outside fenced around it.
Okay.
And then at each corner, they had a stand where they would have a guard. They'd have a guard on this corner and a guard on that corner. And then they would have a 30 caliber machine gun. You know, and that's how you guard it. You march down that way because of these prisoners that were involved.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my duty because the war, it was over.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was pulling peacetime Army Guard, taking over the guys that fought the war. They came home. We replaced the ones that they needed to now guard from people were breaking in warehouses. Well, they were starving to death, the German people. And then we had to pull certain guard duties there where our orders were anybody breaking in, we're meant to shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that I didn't know. I wasn't prepared for that, in a sense, as far as my mind was concerned. But it came at one time where I had to make a decision. These people that were trying to get into this one warehouse, and I was in this a location where I could see the whole side of the building. I could see them breaking in. So what my job was to do is, to holler at them, stop, or you'll be shot. And I can remember just exactly taking my M1 rifle, aiming it at the person. It was about 300 yards. That's quite a distance. But with the M1 and I was a sharpshooter anyway. It was nothing for me. I couldn't pull the trigger. And I thank God today I never pulled the trigger. Because all that person did was go into that building to steal some food to bring home to his family.
Had you ever pulled the trigger before then on somebody, or that was like a first moment?
That was the first chance that I legally to pull the trigger. Today they pull the trigger on anything. You know that. You see them. These poor guys, I feel sorry for them. These teenagers and young 20s,
Yeah.
And they showed on TV shooting people. If they only knew that the person's pulled trigger, yes, he's killing somebody, but what's up in his mind? This person needs to be taken off the street, incarcerated into an institution under lock and key, but also with mental health doctors trying to help cure them. What's wrong with them?
Right. Some
of them can never be cured. Some of them can be cured. But you are doing the right thing by trying to help them. No, so this defunding the police and everything is the worst thing in the world. It's a completely backward way they're going. So, anyway.
But you help those people.
Don't let me get away from
You're good. But you help those people, of course, because you understood the situation. And
yes, understanding that these people are sick. They need help.
Yeah. Now, how did you know that Hitler was there?
Oh, well, that part, that was just by hearsay.
Hearsay.
Hey, somebody.
What were they saying?
GIs, how GIs are when they get together. I mean, I remember when I was when we landed on a troop transport, they unloaded us at Le Havre, France. And of course, our barracks was a 10. That's all. And my little town was the cigarette Herbert Taylorton. Remember that? I think I told you this way back. And so you're in there with, let's see, we had 8 guys. These tents were just the size for 8, but you had hundreds of them, And And some of those guys, I was with a gang from New York City, and boy, how they were different from us guys from New Jersey. And some of the things that they would be saying, I'd say, wow, how can I get out of this? I got to do my job or be court-martialed. And
do you think they just made that up about that like Hitler's body was in that area? You said it was like hearsay that that's just something that you heard.
Oh, Hitler?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it could have been that. It could have been just a story, because I didn't see him.
Right.
Well, I didn't see anybody, because we didn't go inside. We weren't allowed to go inside. They had an office with a proper lieutenant or captain that was in charge, Americans. And but as far as Hitler, I try to keep recalling that, and then do you know that you were guarding? I said, no, I didn't really know until I'm told. So,
Right.
but what did that mean to me? Well, of course, knowing who Hitler was, and knowing the terrible, not just the idea of being a dictator, but by being a murderer. Just like today, Putin can be a perfect stand bearer for Hitler.
Yeah.
And his beliefs in his mind. And that's what the danger is right now, is what he is going to do. He wants to destroy the Ukraine. He wants the Ukraine, which has tremendous food value in the population. And he wants that for Russia. Well, they used to belong to Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah.
And during his 30 years, he's tried to take it over. And now somehow or other he thinks that he can do it. But he found out in his 30 years that the Ukrainian people liked democracy that was taught in the West. Western,
Yeah.
So, but what he's finding out is that these people aren't just going to give up. If they can get enough weapons, they can preserve their democracy. And just like what's going on right now, if we don't send them enough military out, and the other NATO countries don't do it, gradually Putin will win. He'll take over. He won't take over the people, though. And there's going to be a constant, almost like Iraq, it's going to be a constant civil war between Russia, and that's what I hate to see. And you hate to see the people that are being killed now by the thousands, which is so wrong.
Yeah.
So everybody will say, okay, what do you think is the best thing to do? The best thing to do is to try to make peace for Russia. Okay, give them the land that they occupied on the side there. Okay, give them that. Okay, now you leave us alone. And we'll take the other part of the country and we'll keep. That would be the
Communicate, just talk back and forth and find middle ground. And
They can do. This is something that can be done if we have people like you, okay, possibly people like me, and there are people like that. There's a lot of them, but until we get enough of them, that we can't put it in practice. When you get one that's so powerful like Putin, what do you say? Chief of the, what do you call it? Not the Gestapo, EKG or whatever they
sounds
call
familiar.
it, you know.
Sounds familiar. I think I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. It's a powerful hate organization, like the Gestapo. Exactly like, in fact, they were copied off the Gestapo. And any leader they're the ones you don't want to lead in any country.
Yeah.
Because they'll destroy it, destroy the people in it,
Right.
and then they run away if they can get away.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hitler couldn't get away,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't face justice,
Yeah.
so he poisoned himself.
Yeah. Did you hear about his death at the time, or was that like much later you found out about that?
No, we found out was I'd say about. In fact, I really forget about the time. I really believe it was about half a year or so when he committed himself, committed suicide, when the war was over with, and he was or they were trying to get him incarcerated. And of course, they had to lock him up someplace, you know.
Right.
So any place where anybody, or what I'm talking about, a soldier or something, say, yeah, we put him there or this, that. So you take it with a grain of salt, you know. It doesn't make anything difference to you know. He had to hide someplace, but he was hiding until they caught him. But when they caught him, that's when I'm not quite sure of when the suicide. That's when they published it in the papers, how he did it or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if he escaped from that prison. I really don't know the true story of that. And that's about all I can say.
Yeah.
And, it was a terrible experience for me. Luckily, I didn't have to get killed in the army. I was very lucky, you know. And even to the time when I was going home, our ship running into one of the worst storms that it ever had 7 split seams. We read that in the daily newspaper. You know, General Richardson just docked at New York. 7 or 11 split seams because of the waves.
Really?
And believe me, that I know is true because what we used to do is, of course, we're in the hold of the ship. You know, otherwise, how could they hold 3,000 troops? You know,
3,000?
Yeah.
Was it tight? Like the.
Oh yeah. The bunks were put from right up the sides. You know, you had. I'm not quite sure if it was 8 or 10. You know, to get up to the. If you had the top bunk, you know, you get up there. Hey, BFC Frank, I got the top bunk or something. I don't want nobody pissing on me. You know the Army language. Bing, bing, bing. Go to confession when you can. And but anyway, that's the way it was. You know, see, and then when you're up or something, you would push the bunk, it would swing up this way, and it would give room to be able to whatever they did. The ships, you know. And I kept that newspaper for a lot of years until a lot of that stuff finally gets thrown away. Yeah.
I can look that up.
Yeah, you could look it up.
Yeah, who published it?
I think it would be in 1944. 44, 45. Yeah. No, our night either numbers like 1944 or 45, 46. 46 sounds to me. I'm trying to make it easier for you to look up where they would have that news. Yeah, like I said, I used to have that newspaper.
Right.
Well, I said, hey, look, yeah, that was a ship that I came over on. I didn't want to go on a ship like, and really it made me so, really scared of the ocean.
I'm sure.
Because that storm was terrible. When I climbed up the stairs that you would normally come out of the hold of the ship, you know, and there would be a window in the doorway, and you could look out the window something. And so we were taking turns going up the steps and looking. This was during the daytime when you could see something, and you look out there, and my God, all of a sudden, what you would see something like this. and then it would go up like this, waves,
Okay.
tremendous waves. You know what I mean? And then everything would be black, and then you feel the ship going like this down, and you could almost hear the noise that it makes when part of it, part of it
When
comes
metal,
out,
like-
then it comes
Okay.
and slaps down. It's really, really scary. Yeah. And I said, maybe if I ever get out of this, I said, never go on a ship. And
Did you ever go on like a cruise? Did you ever go on a ship after that, or a cruise?
No.
Never?
Even today.
No.
In fact, I was talking to, was it Teresa?
I think she was just.
Or maybe your father? No, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I was talking to one of the members of the family because they were talking about, oh, I know. I was talking to Linda. Linda and Rusty went on a cruise to Alaska.
Okay.
And everything. And I'm saying to myself, to Linda, I said, well, you're going on a cruise. You're going by those icebergs and stuff like that. And God bless you.
Mm-hmm.
I said I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I had the money, I wouldn't
Right.
do it.
Check the forecast.
Yeah.
Check the weather. See how it's working.
Check the weather. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all those experiences were, you put them in a proper
Yeah.
perspective.
And you came back, and did you meet Anne after the war or before?
I met Ann. Well, we actually went to school together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when I was overseas, you know how they would, some of the news, people like yourself or probably that would put news on, and some of them would talk about to perk us up by writing letters to us.
Mm.
Yeah, one of your school chums, right? So I remember they started that in the public schools, and so I got this letter from Ann.
Mm-hmm.
I got a letter. I am in was it in France or Germany? One of them anyway, and it was wonderful getting a letter like that. I opened it up and everything else, and I said, God bless her, and this night.
Yeah.
First thing I'm going to do is, when I get home, is see her,
Mm-hmm.
So, it all came about. I'm home now, and trying to get myself situated in what I'm going to do. I tried trade school and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, here's Highbridge, here's Clinton. You know where they are.
Yeah.
Okay? So I was traveling to Clinton. A lot of times I'd stop down at my father's. He had a little restaurant and a little Exxon gas station.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped there or whatever. And then on my way home, I saw, back in those days, this was normal. There's somebody walking along the road from Clinton to Highbridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I know that person. So I pulled over. It was Ann.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she was walking because she was applying for a job in Clinton. And of course, back in those days, everybody didn't have a car, or you either had a bicycle or you walked. Well, for some reason, she's the type of person that during school and everything else, she did dancing and all that. Healthy person, and walking was a great thing. So I picked her up, we started talking, and that led on to, so I said, would you like to go to a movie tonight? That's when movies were, you would go to movies.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, so would you like to, she said, I said, oh, she said, then all of a sudden I realized I didn't have any money. And because I'm struggling to trying to even put gas in the car. And I said, I'm sorry about the movie. I said, well, she had already gotten a job with the Clinton telephone company,
Mm-hmm.
changed, Remember, if you ever read anything, Bernie would probably, your father would probably know about how that was a big deal. Telephone operators, guys making dates with telephone
I've seen
operators.
pictures. Yeah.
So she says, "Oh, don't worry." She says, "I have it. I just got, I have a little left over from my salary." So that started it.
Yeah.
That started it, yeah. So we started to date. And
What movie did you probably don't remember what movie? I would love to know if you remember.
The movie, I'm sure I'm right on this. You know, I'm getting a little bit older now. It's a movie that was, you know, in the Catholic Church and the newspaper. So they have movies that are condemned for us to see. Okay. And I think it was Duel in the Sun.
Duel in the Sun.
Duel in the Sun. Because I think the actor, did he wind up, of course, you didn't see him. Back in those days, you didn't see anything. But I think he, you could even check this out.
I'm going to look it up for sure. Yeah.
Look for Duel in the Sun. And I don't know if you'll find actual writings about, it was, you know, in our religion, mortal sin, you know, this and that and all that. I don't know how much you find out on that. But anyway, I didn't know what the movie really was. So all we talked about was going to the movie. So there we go. We go to the movies, okay? And I didn't notice anything, you know, anything about it. I didn't read anything about it. I mean, I wasn't my faith, yes, I love my faith and everything else, but I wasn't a real knowing everything that I should know. Okay?
Right.
So anyway, we went to the movies, and it came to that part, that scene, and after the movie was over, I remember saying, "Ann, I says, I hate to say it, but I think this movie was condemned." Oh, she says, "We'll check it out." Well, we'll just go to confession.
Yeah.
That was it. And actually, we wound up going to confession. And so, anyway, but that led to us getting married. And as far as children are concerned, I feel that there's only one time during our life that we actually had a discussion on is it time to stop having children? And Ann questioned me about it too. And I said, well, I understand everything after all, because she's the one that's having it. Because we put everything together and said, okay, let's do this. Let's practice restraint. You know, and you know, every time you feel like you want sex or something, well, today it's automatic.
Right.
You know, what? You're not gonna let me do this or what? No, you're a wacko.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I said, but let's go by the Catholic way, and which is the Catholic way. You'd have to read about it. You know, if you practice it, you can actually space your children. If you want to raise 5 children, you can actually. It's no guarantee, because when you do have sex, you're going to do it the right way. But if you're not doing it the way you're taught, then because it's a time where you can have sex, and you won't conceive. God did that for us. Okay. So anyway, we practiced. Everybody's got around somehow or other that you know. Oh, we're practicing. Oh, you're practicing. Boy, it must be working great
Right,
for
right.
you. You just had your 8th or 9th or anyway.
16th.
With the other society, God bless them all. They all mean well. But we just kept on going the way we did. And so when we finally, well, I guarantee of not having any children anymore was because Anne's uterus went, the last child she had, the doctor said, look, her uterus is going to have to come out because of the cancer, whatever things. So, okay, the operation was successful. It didn't have any effect on Anne and I because we had this large family to take care of and to try to bring them up our way.
Right.
And that's all. That's why you're here. And I'm so happy you are.
Yeah, so am I.
So no matter what things happen, especially during our family life, it's been wonderful to have a chance to give everybody else a chance.
Yeah.
And we feel that we never did anything to harm anybody, no matter what they're trying to teach people today.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they teach all bad. No, they don't. They try to teach everybody the proper way to, but then they don't go far enough.
Right.
See, it's only what you like to do without using any guidelines, like the 10 Commandments.
Right.
The simplest thing that I can tell anybody is read the 10 Commandments, read all about them, use the brain that God gave you, and you'll start learning a lot of things that, well, I can't find out anything that He has taught us wrong. Because if we do everything that He has taught us, and we try to do, we're not perfect, we're going to make mistakes.
Right.
But we have the confessional to go to. He gave us a way. Because otherwise, you'd have to be like Hitler wanted. I'm going to create the super race. It was terrible to be in Germany, especially when I was there, you know. To even, you would get angry at seeing.
Was it easy to get over that once you came back to the U.S. to forget about that and kind of start a life here?
I think it was for me because the family there was just no end to the family, you know. All of a sudden you have 2 children, and that you know, and you're still trying to get a good job to make ends meet. So you're so busy there because you have an obligation now. Are you? You're having these children, you got to take care of them.
Yeah.
Education, and feed them, and house them, you know? So that helped relieve the terrible things that World War, put in our minds, the terrible things that we saw, you know, and learned.
It was like start a family. That was like what they tried to tell you.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And that's, see, you know, what's going on over in Ukraine, I see the whole picture from beginning to end. I see the whole picture under Stalin, just like Hitler, and the type of nation that they make.
Yeah.
Number one, they're in charge. They pick the people that they like, and of course they have to have some kind of education but they're going to have to do what this person here wants. And it's just a no-win situation if you go that way. So what's going on in Russia right now today, I know how they could straighten it all out. But who am I? Sweep me under a corner somewhere. In order to straighten this whole thing out, I told you, this is what the United States would have to put something on their shoulders and take a chance on Putin not going to nuclear war. And I don't think he will.
Right.
I don't even think Hitler would, because they want power themselves. They want to be, and they know if they start a nuclear war, they don't know if they can win it or not. So that's what I believe right now. Right now we could stop this whole thing by, number one, giving the Ukrainians, as long as they have enough people to fight.
Yeah.
Because pretty soon they're not going to have enough people. They're not going to have enough people. They're going to have to give up. And what I'm just hoping for, that they can, which I would help them do, defeat Russia right now. They're going to have to bring more troops into the left, because Russia still has a powerful army that can sweep them out. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think America will. Well, we're freedom-loving people. How can we? You know, I mean, they can't seem to, because you have to have religion with what's right too, and we don't have that many.
Right.
Yeah. So it's sad. I feel right now that Russia will get. They aren't. I'm hoping and praying that they don't get what they want. And what they wind up getting will be certain parts of the Ukraine. But it'll be a win for Ukraine if they can hold on and still have a nation by name. And then they'll have to build up their peaceful army to protect them from Russia again.
Right.
Because they're very smart people and they're rich. They just like I say, how they become number one with wheat, and corn, and all this food that the world needs. You know, they're very smart people, and they're free-loving people, and not just free, but they also have religion, and I mean different religions, but they can live like the United States, free.
Right.
You know, no one guy. Just what would we do if? Well, we have enough problems with our own government. We got to get it straightened out and get the right leaders in there.
Yeah.
That will keep our freedom going.
Right. You mentioned your dad earlier. I've never learned anything about him before, but he was born in Italy, right?
Who?
Your father?
Yes.
And he
Sicily.
came over.
Sicily. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned him. Like, what was he like? Like, how much you got to know him?
He came to this country, and
Well, like 1920. I forget what year he came over.
well, let's see.
You're 27.
Yeah, let's see. And he had 5 children. Of course, I was the youngest. So anyway, it's in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Because I was born in 1927. And he couldn't speak English, but he learned. And he started his own business. Back then you could. You know, if you had enough strength, and you know, and he loved the freedom of democracy. He knew what it was all about. In fact, that's why he came to this country.
Why he came? Okay.
That's why he came. He didn't become a millionaire or anything else, but he made enough money to raise 5 children, and of course, and put us in school so that we could continue on. And so we're we're from the immigrants that came to this country so that they could have their own home or their business and be able to work. They couldn't find work in Italy. That's why they're all coming. Now what you have, the immigrants, nothing against the immigrants, only the way the cartel is running things. They're taking bad people, just like us, like what I was telling you, people that should be incarcerated and stuff like that. They'll take people like that, and they'll get money somehow for it, and they'll smuggle them into other countries.
Right.
And those poor people, they're sick people. Most of them are.
Yeah.
Okay? And the ones that are good, as far as I'm concerned, will become good if they get the opportunity. If they don't fall.
Mm-hmm.
That all this stuff can be straightened out.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just sad about the way they're talking. Biden, Trump, I don't care who you name. They all have terrible, terrible faults.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have to do for the next election is the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
Is to try to put the right person in there for the country and for all the people, no matter what you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad your dad did come over. It's good to hear that it worked out for him. He came over because he saw a better life here, and
his wife, God bless her, she came from Naples.
Okay.
And they met in, I'm trying to think of the town, down by Maplewood, somewhere down there. That's where they met each other. And it was a wedding like they did back in those days. This person has a daughter, let's get married. So this Italian, so they pick out Italian and ask, would you like to marry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's the way it's put together. And it was marriage properly in the church. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're all set. That's the way they got married. And everything went along okay until his wife got sick.
When was that?
His wife got sick, and that was just like I say, a tragedy.
When was that? Were you?
That would be, oh boy, let's see. After the fifth, after I was born. So you have to figure out when. Linda would know. I think Linda would know.
So you were young.
She would. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were young when they got married,
Mm-hmm.
and I can remember. Oh, wait a minute. I can remember my mother. I can remember. I can remember my mother when she was okay, because I always remember like these things are a little personal.
Right.
But I remember she was tucking me in bed, and Frankie and my father was waiting for it. They were going out, and my one sister was going to babysit. And so, Frankie, okay, take my hand, make the sign of the cross, stuff like that. Okay, have a good time. I remember the nice things that happened after she got sick, and what caused it or anything else. There can be any kind of stories, and I don't like to go over those stories because then you're talking about, was he a little abusive or something? You're not quite sure. You can remember some fights that were pretty ugly. Children will always remember that. But to put it in its proper perspective, it's not going to do any good now. You know? So anyway, and then I can remember when we finally got her in the hospital, and, living. She should have been in a medical place. But back in those days, it was pretty hard.
Well,
especially if you didn't have that kind of money, you know. So, and she finally died in the hospital, though. And it was a very sad time. You visit her, and mentally, Frank, when are you going to take me home? Boy, oh boy, a child and talking to his mother, and his mother pleading for him to take her home. I tried. When Ann and I got married. I tried. I would go down. You're allowed to take him out once a week, or and I would go down, pick her up. She'd come in the car.
Oh, nice.
We'd bring her home.
Yeah.
And, we'd have a weekend, and that's the way we did it as long as we could.
Yeah.
Until she got worse, and she finally died of a heart attack. It's a sad, very sad part, but it's a type of thing that I can relate to, especially in today's world, there's nobody different. You're no different than I am. We're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
The same rules are for all of us if we would follow them.
Yeah.
That's all I try to talk about is,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I'm over talking.
Yeah, Teresa said you need a nap. Yeah. Should probably let you go.
No, it's wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
I could talk to you all night.
I can talk to you forever. 100%. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's been almost an hour though, so.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Good.
a lot of things I've wanted to ask you for a long time, so
Oh,
I really
that's
appreciate the
wonderful,
time.
Wonderful. And if you have to look anything up, I hope you find something.
Yeah.
Hope you find something that at least I related to that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Or
Right.
no?
I'm gonna test your knowledge. I'm gonna look over the movie, the ship, the storm,
Yeah,
a few other
do that,
things.
and the next time we get together or something, or
Yeah.
if you have all that information, yeah.
100%. I'm gonna show you what I find.
You're right. Okay. I'm telling you, mine hasn't faded yet.
Right. Well, we'll find out. So.
Okay.